Okay, I think we've got the recording also. See, I won't be able to share the screen for the simple reason is that um, the shlokas, I guess you'll have your own shlokas as right. You'll with your okay. So what we'll do is we'll quickly just go through the fifth shloka of the Bhagavad Gita. Before that, quickly we'll do the Mangalacharan. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देश तारिणे हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. I guess this fan is a bit disturbing maybe, so I should keep it in such a range that the fan does not disturb you all. Okay, I think this is fair enough. So, if you all see this particular 16th chapter, we started last time and we discussed about the divine and demonic natures. We first discussed about the Devi Sampada. Then I think we discussed about even the Asura. Did we discuss about the Asura Sampada? I think Asura Sampada we just completed the fourth shloka and we were on to the fifth shloka. So in the fifth shloka, Krishna says that Daivi Sampada Vimokshaya Nibandha Ya Surimata Masucha Sampadam Daivim Abhijato Asi Pandava. So, what the translation is, the transcendental qualities are conducive to material liberation, whereas the demonic qualities make for bondage. And do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine qualities. So, see, Arjuna is actually hearing everything very seriously, and he's thinking that how it is applied to me over here. And in this war, war between the Kshatriyas, the Kshatriyas speak harshly to each other. And Arjuna is thinking like that, that so Krishna says that don't worry, Ma Suchaha Sampadam Devim Abhijatavasi Pandava. He's saying that, O Arjun, O Pandav, your Sampada is Daivi. And how your Sampada is Devi? Because for a Kshatriya to fight in Dharma Yuddha, it's not demonic. It is divine and it is essential. Otherwise, uh, how the order of the Varna ashram would be maintained. So it is divine and it is essential, and in order to establish dharma, uh, he himself has to do violence, है ना? Vinashaya cha dushkrita. So when you say violence, violence itself is not bad. When it is, unwarranted, that is bad. For dharma yuddha, violence is required. That is not bad. So Ma Sucha Sampadam Daivim. So Ma Sucha means Krishna is saying Ma Sucha. Even in the last shloka of the Gita, Sarva Dharma Parityaja, he says, don't fear, do not lament. Your characteristic is very divine as such. So Devi Sampada Vimuksha. So if one is living according to divine nature, that will lead him to liberation. And if one lives according to demonic nature, then that will lead him to bondage. So ni bandhanaya asuri mata. So demonic qualities only will cause bondage. And this is what he is saying. But then, even after saying that, Arjuna's lamentation did not go away. So, Krishna is beginning to again describe the demonic qualities of demonic people. So, in the sixth shloka, he's saying that. Let's go to the sixth shloka. Give me 1 minute, okay? Give me 1 second, okay? There's something problem. So, see, what is he saying over here is Hmm. So the sixth shloka, he says that Dao bhuta sarga lokesmin daiva asura evacha daiva vistarasa prokta asuram parthame shrunu. So he's saying that, O son of Pritha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. One is called divine, that is Daiva, and the other is demoniac, Asura. I've already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now, hear from me the demonic qualities. So, then he's saying over here that uh, Dvau Bhuta Sarga Lokesmin. So, in this world, there are two kinds of people. One is the Devi and one is the Asuri. And then he's saying that now I'll describe to you all the demonic qualities in detail. So see, in this particular chapter also, in the very few verses, only godly qualities are described. But earlier also Krishna has described it in many times in many chapters also. Like in the second chapter, he said he described the characteristics of Sthitapragya person. And Sthitapragya person, if you'll remember, the shloka is from 2.54 to 2.72. And even in the third chapter, if you'll remember, he has described when he was talking about kings like Janaka and others, who live with detachment. Fourth chapter also, he has described Nishkam Karma Yoga. Then in the sixth chapter also, he has described a few verses. Even in the 10th chapter, he has described the godly qualities as such. And so then, um, even in the 14th chapter, the mode of goodness, he is described, those who transcend the mode of goodness also. So very elaborately he is described. And then he's saying that Asuram Partha Me Shrunu. Now I will describe you the demonic qualities. So let's go to the seventh shloka, what he says. So, see, this is a very important shloka, this seventh shloka. This seventh shloka is important from application point of view. Okay, okay. Of course, all the other shlokas also from application point of view. But when you say, when Krishna says, pravrittim cha nivrittim cha jana na vidur asura na socham na pi chacharo na satyam teshu vidyate. He says that those who are demonic do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. So, in our spiritual life also, we have pravritti marg and nivritti marg. Pravritti marg means what? क्या करना है? How to act properly, and nivritti means, somebody is not acting properly. So for this pravritti mark, there are some do's, and for nivritti mark, there are some don'ts also. So pravritti means what? Some mm, uh, mm, for us we have artha pravritti and anartha nivritti. Artha pravritti means some meaningful acts, and anartha means which is not really required. So for us, the anartha nivritti is all the four regulative principles. We don't require them. It's not needed for a human being, right? And then artha pravritti, some meaningful act. What will we do? We wake up early in the morning at 4 o'clock. We chant, we read, we meditate, we serve, we. So these are all, artha pravritti. So meaningful acts we do in the early mornings. So, but with the asuris, what is there? Pravritim cha nivritim cha. Acting properly, acting improperly. And janana vidur asuraha. The demonic people, na vidura, they do not know. And then he's saying that na socham na pichacharo, they do not have cleanliness, nor they have any proper behavior as such. And na satyam teshu vidyate. And there is no truthful also uh, among them. So Krishna has described first and foremost their behavior is not guided. And what guides the behavior? The scriptures are guiding the behavior. And when the behavior is guided by the scriptures, then we can be acting properly. Just like, for example, we have a sick patient and he's guided by the doctor. And some certain guidelines also the doctor gives. So similarly, we are sick in this material existence, And the scriptures are given to help uh, guide us so that we can recover spiritually. So then he's saying that pravrittim and nivrittim. So pravritti and nivritti scriptures tell us to do certain things and to avoid certain things, do's and don'ts, as I told you. And the demonic people do not care for these do's and don'ts. This is the main problem with them. Scriptures tell us that Vishnu Bhaktas Smrito Devo Asuratsasya Pravaryeha. So Vishnu Bhaktas Smriti Devo. So who are the Devatas? Those who are devotees of Lord Vishnu, and those who are opposite to Lord Vishnu, they are demons. So, in Hindi, if you say that, Suras are devotees and Asuras are demons. Sura means क्या, जो भगवान के सुर में सुर मिला के चलते हैं, they are Suras. And जो भगवान के सुर में सुर नहीं मिलाते हैं, they are Asuras. So, the Supreme Lord, sometimes he comes in this material world who oppose them, and these demons and those who are opposing the Supreme Lord, then they are demonic in quality. Those who are devotees, at present they might not be liberated, but it is that uh, and is it something like that, that those who are not demonic are demonic? But see, if you see even in the Ramayana, the war was between divine and demonic, right? But in Mahabharat, uh, the war was between humans and humans, human beings and human beings. And Rakshasas were on both the sides. Although Duryodhan was a human being, but he had that demonic mentality. And with that demonic mentality, also there are people who are overly demonic and people who are influenced. Many people are godless today, from, life's perspective, if you see. They might not want to be godless, but they are, because they're living in such a socio-cultural environment where they're not given knowledge of the scriptures. So uh, manual helps us, you know when we buy a particular product, it gives us a they give you manual. If you have a washing machine, then there's a manual. If you have a mobile, they have a manual. So this manual, it helps us use that product to its best capacity. And even the scriptures, they are also like manuals for this human life. The scriptures are guiding us that how to use this human machine body, the body which is being given, to use it properly. So Srila Prabhupada, has given some principles from the Manu Samhita, that how we have to live according to the guidelines given by Krishna. Of course, he didn't try to directly implement Manu Samhita because the society culture is very different today. And if Manu Samhita is not understood in proper context, then they will give different meanings related to, caste, gender, and as such. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said that at present, the Manu Samhita, which is available, is actually manipulated by all the Brahmanas. So that way, pravritim cha, navritim cha. Let's go to the next. So, what is the conclusion of these asuras about this world? The next sloka will speak about that. Asatyam प्रतिष्ठितं ते जगत आहुर अनीश्वरम अपार स्पर्श संभूतम किम अन्यात् काम अहेतु किम. So see, what Krishna is saying is They say that this world is unreal, with no foundation. This is who's thinking? This is the Asuras thinking, okay? And no God in control. They say it is produce of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. So their conclusion about the world is asatyam, false, and uh, apratishthitham, without any foundation, and anishwaram, with no God in control. And then it is how it is risen without any cause, aparasparam sambhutam, and kama ahetukim. It is produced of sex desire. So this asatyam, apratishtitam, this world is unreal. There's no foundation, and then there is no Ishvara also, and there is no cause also. So see, when Krishna is giving these five reasons or five conclusions about the demonic people, what is Krishna referring that? He's moving from the demonic activities to their mentality. What is the mentality of the demonic people? So, the previous verse, if you see, was speaking about pravritim and nivritim. What is mainly activities, but everything is diffused together in the activity and the mentality. So, when this asatyam, right, asatyam, apratishtitam, this world is unreal, and these things actually are quoted by the Mayavadis more. Apratishtam, there is no foundation. There are different approaches, and people say that okay, this world is Jagat Mithya, है ना? And this world is not real. Some say this world is real, but there is no foundation. There is no supreme cause. Some say that the there is no God beyond this world, right? Jagat Ahur Anishwaram. So this world is unreal. This world is foundation or has no foundation or foundationless. And in this world, there is no God in whose control this world is. So these are all different godless ideas that these people have. Then naturally, sometimes somebody might ask that, what is the purpose of this existence then? Kim anyat kama ahetu kim. So the purpose is, arisen from lust, and it exists only for lust. People are existing only for lust, and it is meant for fulfilling the unfulfilled desires. So atheism is not new. There are always people who refuted God, but some forms and some rebellious natures are there where they defend. And even sometimes, people blame Britishers and Muslim invaders. That is true, but still problem was always there. It was not like that before the Britishers came or the Muslims came, there was no atheism. Sanskrit has produced world's largest atheistic literatures, and they mainly come from two sects. One is the Buddhism and the other is Jainism, and they were rebelling religion. They rebelled against the Vedic authority, but Buddhism and Jainism were atheistic without being grossly materialistic. Like, it is interesting that normally we equate atheism with materialism, but uh now if you read that the that book, matchless gift, in that a lot of has been said. So atheism were at all the times, Buddhist and Jainism were not very much odd with the mainstream of Vedic culture. So they also have renunciates. They also have this regulations of material entanglements, and um, so that is why they can, pursue the reality of the world, and then one can understand that, okay, how miserable this material world is, and I need to get out of this material world, and I should be free from this misery. So that is why Prabhupada writes that Buddhism and Jainism and impersonalism, they understand that this world is a place of misery, and they're trying to enjoy this world. And if you try to enjoy this world, then it will increase the misery. And that is why we have to get out of this world, and we have to go beyond this world. And so there are many different opinions also about this. So atheism is there throughout the history, but in modern times, this atheism concept has been very much intellectually glamorized, and this glamour of atheism has been, stolen from science. So then what does atheism do? It is wearing the dress, or it has dressed itself in a scientific garb. And many people think that to be scientific means to be atheistic, and naturally, science is just a tool for acquiring knowledge. To be atheistically, actually, science, to be atheistically, pose yourself is like, something really very, matter of pride. And this atheism tool can be used positively to go towards God, and this can be negatively used to go away from God. So science is basically study of nature, and from this, study, somebody can say that, okay, the absolute truth is the controller, how the planets are moving, how the sun, the moon, they are actually moving on its own accord. So uh, these people, they actually reject the absolute controller. And even in the science, we have seen so many things that how the atheist, they actually reject. So in the purport, Prabhupada is also saying that demons say that life is a dream, and these demons are very expert in enjoying this dream. So although they say that this world is false, but they want to enjoy, but they don't want any regulations. But life is all about rules and regulations. If you discipline yourself, then you see, even in the material world, if you see that you are getting something more, right? If you're regulating, and then you see you get what you want to achieve, right? So uh, if they think that this world is false, then why do they want to entangle in this world? They wanted to become disentangled in this world. So they say that this world is a dream. It is a dream in the sense means it is temporary. And if we see from our point of view that matter is energy of Krishna, we cannot, um, go away from this material world. And there is a process to be followed to how to get out of this material world. Like if somebody wants entry into medical science, right? So they have to go through a process, and then they get entry, right? And even when he has to move on from the university, then there is a process. So, like, the dream is temporary and should not be taken seriously. So they say that this world is also a dream and need not take it very seriously. This is what the atheists say. Okay, let's go to the ninth. So, with all these, with all this conclusions about this material world, that in this material world is asatyam, aparishtitam, and anishwaram, these people are lost in this material world. They are lost to themselves also. So what he says, etan drishtim avastabhyam nasta mano ilpa alpa buddhaya prabhavanti ugra karmana kasyasya jagato hita. Following such conclusions, the demonic who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. Oh, this is something very dangerous. So, what is he saying that etam drishtim, this drishti or this vision or this understanding that is there, that kim anyat kama hetu kim. The understanding they have is there is no God and there is no purpose other than lust. This is their, understanding. And they're saying that nashta atmano alpa buddhaya. The soul is lost. Alpa buddhya means these people are less intelligent or they have no intelligence only. Alpa buddhaya. And then prabhavanti ugra karmana. So then what they do? They engage in unbeneficial, horrible works. They flourish in doing ugra karma. And these terrible activities are painful for them also, and they are painful for others also. Basically, these ugra karmas are meant to destroy the whole world. If you see in Delhi and all these places, there is so much of ugra karma with women, with men, and so many other things that is happening. The love jihad. So these are all ugra karmas. And then he's saying that uh, kasyaya jagato ahitaha. Kasyaya means actually it is destructive, and ahita means it is unbeneficial. So at the best, they are unbeneficial, and at the worst, they are devastating and they're destructive. Nashta atmano. Nashta atmano means what? That the soul's inclination towards spirituality is lost because of too much of or excessive material attachments. And then he's saying alpa buddhayaha. Alpa buddhaya means they have very less intelligence or no intelligence, so they may have material intelligence, which is very much restricted in this realm of matter. So they think that this is where we have to live, this is where we have to enjoy, and there is nothing more to do in this life, you know. So the fundamentals of economic are the resources which are very much limited, and how these limited resources can fulfill the demoniac's unlimited desires. So there are, haves and have nots for sure. And we feel sometimes the earth bound that we do not have these desired things. And many times, now, if somebody wants to fulfill these kinds of terrible works, then they have to do some ghastly things. And sometimes because their desires are very complex and they're entangling and they increase. So one ugra karma will lead to another ugra karma to a third ugra karma. So what will happen is the person will become more ugra, and more ugra means more unsatisfied desires. And then he will never be satisfied. So if you see, even in today's world, if you see, that hmm, uh, WWF, that boxing thing that is there, okay? And uh, what they are doing, they're doing something very simple. So, instead of once my father was telling that this is not WWF, this is WWS. I said, Papa, what is this WWS? You think this is worldwide stupidity that people are just, boxing for each other. And there is worldwide stupidity most places. Like people are working for 10 hours, 12 hours, and they're coming home And then again, what they're doing, they're watching TV, and in this in that TV, then there is advertisement, and then that advertisement they tell, okay, this product is good and that product is good, and your hairstyle is wrong, and you need to you know you know redo your hairstyle, and then your shoes are wrong, you should have good shoes, your house is wrong, you should change it that way. Nowadays, if you see these real estate people also, so much of advertisements, they say that the ad starts only with something of my client had this desire, and they lived in some colonial colony, and it was right from the beginning, they wanted it this way. So what happens is, when these words reach our ears, they also trigger our desires, that, oh, I wish even I had such a big house and so nice. And then there are see, behind that scene, what is happening, we also don't know. Okay, there are so many lights. So a person feels, wow, this whole house that they are showing us is with so much of light and fresh air and so many other things. And then this is triggering our desires more, that I wish even I have such. But do we know that the more the desires we have, the more the bodies will have to take? So desires should be dovetailed towards Krishna. And when people are watching, they, they feel that it is compulsory to go and shop and purchase. And there is this whole addiction, which is called shopaholism, which means addiction to shopping. So many people, if you see, um, they will give you so much of allurements outside banks, outside some malls. There are people who will say, okay, if you don't have money, take this credit card, and then you keep on taking loans and loans. And if you have to spend more money, then we have to work more hard. And if we have to work more hard, we feel so much tired. The more we feel tired, we feel that I need a break, and then we come home and we watch more and more television. Is like a vicious cycle which goes and goes and goes. WWS, worldwide stupidity. And this is actually called Ugra Karma, shopping more and more, entangling yourself more and more, as such. So that is why we need to come out from this vicious circle. We need to see that how we can help others to come out from this vicious circle. And Prabhupada also, Kasya Jagata Hita, Prabhupada is talking about weapons of mass destruction. So, uh, Prabhupada says that human intelligence should be used to benefit other living entities. But there are human intelligence to make such weapons, right? And the amount of weapons of mass destruction is there that can, wipe. Now, if you've seen the Gaza and, Hamas, the battle between them. So it is actually, it's a mass destruction. It's like, that Brahmastra, but, uh, it is destroying lives, and it is destroying innocent lives. Those people which have nothing to do with some people's enmity. And that's how, uh, there is mass destruction. But there is some destruction of the killing of the embryo also. Without killing the mother, the embryo is also so many weapons are there, uh, mm, and if you see, almost most of the weapons in those days were in the hand of self-controlled people. Only when it went to the hand of the uh, not so self-controlled people and self-realized people, it caused so much of a problem. Like sometimes when both Brahmastra were colliding, then there is mass destruction can happen. But when Arjuna was having that power, or Vedvyas, was having that power, so they both knew how to, withdraw that Brahmastra. But today's weapons are such that today's weapons are indiscriminate destruction. Anyone and everyone will be destroyed. See, with Brahmastra, what is the thing? That only the targeted person will be destroyed, not the people around him. And then there is another higher level that is called terrorism, which is very opposite to the Kshatriya mentality. Kshatriyas will fight with opponents who are equals, who are equally, um, those who have equal valor, and those who are equally well equipped, and those who are equally well engaged and well alert. Okay, takkar ke logo ka ke saath they will fight. And today terrorists attack people who are not equals. They attack even civilians who are not even well equipped with arms and ammunitions. On one button they can destroy with a bomb so many people. So these weapons are very much destructive, that they are not destroyable very easily. And so often uh, it is difficult to destroy them. Now, if you bury them underground, it will poison even the soil. And if you bury them, they will, or if you uh, burn them even in the air, they will poison the whole of the atmosphere. If you throw them in the ocean, it will, poison the whole of the ocean animals, aquatic animals, and the whole ecosystem will get disrupted. So, there was some proposal that these weapons should be put in the rocket and thrown in the outer space. So, of course, uh, uh, the demigods are there who will send it down again, as so these demonic, you know, people, they create such things. So, human intelligence, Prabhupada says, that should be used to do good to others and not harm to others. Unfortunately, best human beings are used to do harmful things today. Like, um, uh, Einstein, he led to the development of this atom bomb. And initially, that atom bomb was developed in Germany. And then later on, when Japan was bombed, it was the biggest repent that was there. Hiroshima and Nagasaki, if you all know. So again, Prabhupada is writing about animal killing also. So Prabhupada says that material inventions are not considered to be advancement of human civilizations. It's only more and more people will become violent, more and more people will become cruel to animals, cruel to other human beings also. So all these things actually, these demonic people, because they are lost to themselves and they are not able to engage themselves properly. That is why, they do this ugra karma or horrible works, which is destroying the whole world. Okay, let's go to the next. Hmm. So now, from the 10th shloka to the 20th shloka, Krishna is going to give what are the activities of the demonic people, and corresponding to that, what consequences, what are the consequences of those activities? So he's saying that कामम् आश्रित्य दुष्पूरं दम्भमानमदान्विता मोहाद् गृहीत्वा सत् गृहान् प्रवर्तन्ते असुचिव्रतः. Taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige, the demonic, thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. So, see, what is he saying that? Kamam ashite. So, calm is there in everyone. But here, what will happen that they are taking shelter of karma. They are taking the ashray of calm. So calm becomes the whole and soul of their life. Calm means over here we know uh, thirst for enjoyment, lusty desires to be fulfilled. Okay. And so instead of taking ashray of or shelter of Krishna, they are taking ashray of calm. What does this mean? That people have this idea that there is no problem. So there is no problem so big that sex can't be solved. What are the problems? Just have the sex, the problem will get solved. So then he says that okay, forget it. If it does not get solved, postpone it. And offer after postponing it, it becomes more aggravated further. So that is how sex can never be satisfied. Now, sex means only not the union of a male and female. Sex can also mean the acquisition of property or having some lusty desires, which actually fructify into actions later on. Like somebody has this desire of becoming something big in life. He wants to become a minister, or he wants to rule the world, or he wants a particular girl in his life. All these are desires that way. Kuch paane ki ichha, to acquire something is also called sex desire, because it's a broader term. Sex is only not between a male and a female. Okay. So everyone has lust, and there is a civilized way in which it can be engaged and purified, and that is through marriage. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha is a progression through Vedic culture. And devotees think that there is no problem which Krishna can't solve. So the kind of devotion to Kama, taking shelter of Kama, is disastrous. And there are so many diseases, so many divorces, so many sexual crimes that happens because of this uncontrolled lust. And people think that fulfilling lust is the goal of life. At least nowadays, it is becoming horrible. At least in these past 10 years, what I am seeing, the news and all these things. And uh, uh, and how are these desires fulfilled? It is fulfilled by dambha mana madanvitaha. They are fulfilled with arrogance, pride, and prestige. And the subtle karma is desire for honor. And that is why they're saying that mohat grihit vasat grahanah. See, moha means we know illusion. And then what happens is grihitva. They accept asat grahan. They accept that which is asat, which is temporary, right? Sat means permanent and asat means temporary. And they think that this is real and this is almost, you can say that permanent, it is eternal. They think in that way. And if you see, even in the Bollywood movies, they have that ending and they lived happily forever after. But the fact of life is just opposite. We also know that this is Dukhalam Ashashvatam. So uh, you can say it is like a white lie, but people accept it and they want to believe it. And then that's why they say that Mohat Grihit Vasad Grahanah. They accept it as truth. So, and then he's saying that Pravatante Asuchi Vrata means what? They engage us. Uh, they and actually, how do they engage us? Asuchi Vrata. See, Asuchi Vrata means what? unclean vows. So, in this context, no, Srila Baldev Vidya Bhushan, he has referred to this that uh, left-handed tantra. Left-handed tantra is people engaging in sex in all kinds of discriminate way, and they think that uh, sex is the means of spiritual advancement. If you see, um, there is this person called Osho, and he was thinking that if you do sex, then you will advance spiritually. So they do, then black magic and all these, kind of things. They do all these inauspicious activities, and they do all this vrata. And out of that, a suchi vrata, unclean vows, is more disastrous. Like, for example, Guinness Book of World Record. Some, couple, they had kissed each other for 47 hours. So there is no taste in this. Even from the hygienic purpose, it is not good, but the media splashed it so much. So, suchi vrata, unclean vows. So, actually, suchi vrata, so actually, which is very completely perverse. And all this happens because people do not have any reference point of how life is and what it is purpose is. People don't know only what is the purpose of life. And there is another example also. There is this model, and she said that if Indian cricket team wins, I will, strip. So people don't have some moral balances also. If what is the connection between Indian cricket team winning and her stripping, right? And there is this PETA also, organization which is working to protect animals. And to gain that advancement, they expose, women's bodily parts, and some parts of the animals. They say that they have parts like the women, and then they don't eat me and don't eat them. And these women who pose like that in pictures, they are considered selfless. Means too much of ignorance is there. So it is not selfless actually, according to the Shastras. Actually, it is brainless. So these Pita people, cricketers, they all are wealthy people. And then why are these women stripping for them, and stripping for poor people, for protection for animals? So this is all, there is no moral, reference only left for people to decide that what is right and what is wrong. क्या सही है क्या गलत है, because lack of uh, uh, lack of proper knowledge from the shastras. See, jab bhi when we read scriptures, we know what is right, what is wrong. So that is why he's saying that mohad grihitavad grahan, they're illusioned and attracted by the impermanent. Really, it's such a petty thing, for these people. Okay. And then, the 11th and the 12th shloka is saying about what is their attitude, what is their engagement as such. So then he's saying that Chintam अपरिमेयां च प्रलयात्मम upashrita कामोपभोग परमा एतावत् इति निश्चित आशापाशाशतिर्बद्धा काम क्रोध परायण यहन्ते काम भोगार्थम अन्यान्य अर्थ संचयान. So he's saying that they believe that to gratify the senses is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, until the end of their life, their anxiety is immeasurable. Bound by a network of hundreds of thousands of desires, they secure money by illegal means of sense gratification. Kama upabhogah. They take unlimited anxieties until the end of their life. So see, desires and disasters, in the demonic world. And these demons, they are motivated by what? They're motivated by lust and greed, because they want to enjoy sense gratification. And to enjoy sense gratification, what do they require? They require money for that, right? So dharma, artha, kama, moksha is balanced way out of living. But the demons, what they want to do, they want to remove only the dharma. They want to cut off even the moksha. And all these demons want is artha and kama. So Krishna has said, Bhog Aishwarya Prasaktanam. Bhog is calm. And he has said Aishwarya is Artha. And both of these abduct the soul away. Bhog Aishwarya Prasaktanam Taya Aparita Chetasam. Apaharan Karna. And right now, if you see, um, all these demonic activities, whatever qualities, are given over here, है ना, are reflected in these activities also that they are doing. Chintam, they are, anxiety, aparimiyam, unlimited, or immeasurable anxiety, you can say. And then they're saying that pralayantam upashritah, till the end of pralaya, you know. So, if you see, pralaya means, cosmic destruction, or at the time of death of a person. So, till the moment of death, they are filled with anxiety. And upashritah, what they have taken shelter of, kiska आश्रय liya hai? They have taken shelter of anxiety. So one does not take shelter of anxiety, but one takes shelter of something which leads to anxiety. And what is that which is leading to anxiety? That is kama upabhoga parama. Kama means, sense gratification. Upabhog, the enjoyment of sense gratification, of lust and, sensuality. And then parama, उनको लगता है कि ये परम गोल है, highest goal of life. So that is why if you see in the purport also, or the translation also, Prabhupada has translated as sense gratification is the prime necessity of life for them. So they think that everything in life is meant to give kama upabhoga. They have, this assert, certainly nishchitah, etavad iti nishchita. They think that this kama upabhog is only, the prime necessity of life, or sense gratification is only the prime necessity of life. And then what they are doing? Asha, pasha, sater baddha. Asha pasha means what? They are bound by those desires. And how many desires? Shater baddha. Hundreds of desires. Shata means 100. And hundreds of desires they are bound by. Kama krodha parayanaha. They have sold themselves out to lust and anger. Kama krodha parayanaha. अपने आप को काम वासनाओं में और क्रोध के लिए उन्होंने अपने आप को बेच दिया है. इहंते काम भोगार्थम. And for the sake of kama bhoga, ihante, or for the sake of enjoying sense gratification, then what are they doing? They are actually sanchayan. So, in just immortality or illegality, they are collecting, or through wrong means, they are collecting, or immorally they are collecting wealth. And how they collect wealth immorally, we'll see in the next verse. and achintayam apariyam. So in this life, we can do either chintan or chinta. See, chintan is contemplation, and contemplation especially on Krishna or on the higher truths of life. Okay. And the highest truth we know is whom? The highest truth is Krishna. So in our mind, uh, or if our mind doesn't have steady, satisfying object of thought, then the mind naturally thinks about these worldly things. And when we think about worldly things, we know that no worldly things will ever last for a long, and we will not get that everlasting peace. So then, the result of that is chinta. You know, chinta means all the time unnecessary thinking or being in an anxiety. So if we think about sense objects, then that will cause chinta. I will not get this or I will not get that. And if I get this and if I get that, how long will it stay with me? So, because see, चिंता को हम measure नहीं कर सकते कि आज मैंने इतना चिंता किया. Why? Because why you cannot measure chinta? Because there are so many desires, and each of these desires is going to lead us to an anxiety. And till the time that anxiety will last, what will happen? Pralayatam, the death, the time of death or the moment of death will come and stand in front of our door. So in Kali Yuga, people have gone very much away from God. And because they have gone away from God, their anxieties are multiplying several times. And because when people are not left with, that stable shelter, then that is why they are left with distributed minds. And the mind only takes them here and there. And whenever the mind goes, wherever the mind goes, their thoughts also go, because the mind is restless. They become restless. So, uh, that is why these immeasurable anxieties, chintam aparimeyam, and we see that so much of we can see these chintas, so much that people are taking stress manage. See, I never knew, what is stress. Okay, stress kya hota hai? To be really very honest, uh, even before coming into Krishna consciousness, uh, I never had so much of stress, in the sense, maybe during college time we have taken stress for examination, maybe just for that time. But throughout taking stress, that was not there. Like, exam khatam, okay, go and play and do whatever you want to play, badminton, you want to go out with friends. That anxiety was not there. Maybe anxiety for a few minutes. But nowadays, if you see, out of the 24 hours, people have stress for minimum 18 to 19 hours. Only the time when they sleep, they don't have that stress. But as soon as some wake up, he has stress. Ab kya hoga? I have to go to the office and I have deadlines and I have this and that. So this world is kuntha. But modern civilization has increased that kuntha, or the miseries, to many folds, many multiply. And that is why the WHO, World Health Organization, uh, uh, the World Health Organization, stress and mental problems are the biggest problem in the current century. This anxiety disorder has become so common in Western countries that people are seeing an epidemic of anxiety there. And why these anxieties come? Because of desires and attachments. Kama, kama upabhoga paramaha. And you know, it's simply misery. And a person, you know, works extremely high for that. He's working for, you know, 18 hours, 17 hours, 16 hours. And that is what is happening. Uh, the craze and slaves are gaining wealth. But ultimately, what is one getting? One is getting anxiety only. So the more we are attached to things, the more we suffer anxieties. Things means the more we get attached to matter, then we are having anxieties. But the more we get attached to the spirit, the more we get attached to Krishna, we will not have any anxiety. So, you know, sometimes people, you know, they say cheers, you know, but the heart is filled of completely fears, and their minds are purged with desires. They are on the verge or urge of tears, and they say cheers. People are actually not happy, you know, they are put on some facade of happiness, and they think that. So, when sense gratification is the goal, desires become the master. A very nice sentence, you know, said. When sense gratification is the goal, then desires will become the master. But when Krishna is the goal, right? When Krishna is the goal, then the desires become the subordinate or the servants. Because we are servants of Krishna ultimately. And all the desires are like very much invisible role. Asha, Pasha, Shater, Baddaha. All these desires are invisible ropes which are pulling them. Shater, hundreds of desires, and they're bound, and you know, they're being pulled. And then there is Kama Krodha Parayana. They become Kama Krodha Parayana. Instead of becoming Narayana Parayana, they become Kama Upabhoga, Kama Krodha Parayana. See, Parayan means what? To become devoted. But they become devoted to Kam and Krodha, lust and anger. I should be the enjoyer, and if I don't become the enjoyer, nobody else should become the enjoyer, so destroy everything else. So when calm is not satisfied, or when calm is unsatisfied, it becomes krodha. Ihante kama bhogartham. So for calm, then bhoga. What they do, kama bhoga, what they do? Then so when this calm is unfulfilled, anyarthena sanchayan. Anyena, so when calm is unfulfilled, it leads to krodha. And when it is fulfilled, then it is leads to lobha. देखिए, काम बीच में है, अगर फुलफिल हुआ तो फिर जो है वो लोभ की तरफ जाएगा, ग्रीड. एंड इफ इट इज नॉट फुलफिल्ड एंड लीड्स टू ग्रीड. एंड बोथ द वेज इट इज ट्रैपिंग अस, दोनों साइड से हमें घेर लिया है. सो बाय दिस दिस काम उपभोग की वजह से, by the intelligence, by this indulgence, in fact, the rope of bondage becomes more thicker and tighter. ये और बांधते जाती है. You know, it keeps on binding us more and more. And that is why instead of becoming Kama Krodha Parayana, we devotees become Narayana Parayana. We become devoted to, you know, the Supreme Lord Narayana. So let's go to the next shloka. Just give me 1 second, okay. There's a major problem. There is no Wi-Fi now, right now also. कुछ तो बहुत मेजर प्रॉब्लम है हमारे एरिया में लग रहा है. This is 13th and the 15th. Okay. We still don't have any connection as such. So let's go to the 13th and the 15th. The 13, 14, 15. All three are clubbed in one. Idam madya maya labdham imam prapasya manoratham idam astidam api me bhavishyanti punardhanam asau maya hita. Just 1 second, okay? Yeah. Asau maya hata shatrur हनीस्ये चापरन अपि ईश्वरो अहम अहम भोगी सिद्धो अहम बलवान सुखी आध्यो बीजवान अस्मि को अन्यो अस्ति सदृशो माया यक्षे दास्यमि मोदिस्य इति अज्ञान विमोहितः. So what is he saying? Krishna is saying that what is the thinking of what is the mentality of this demonic person who has gained wealth. Okay. So much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him, and other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is no one so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices, I shall give some clarity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. So, he is saying that I have gained so much. Labdham is gaining. And see, imam prapashye manoratham. Manorath, in the Vedic times, the mind was compared with a chariot. And if you want to go fast and comfortable, then you use the chariot. So if you use a horse, then you can go fast, but it will not be comfortable. So, one sits comfortably in the chariot, and so somebody is sitting comfortably sits in the mind's chariot. And then sitting on the mind's chariot, what is he doing? He's just dreaming. I will do this and I'll do that and I'll gain this and I'll gain that. And there is another analogy with chariot and horses that is different. There is this mind. Mind is like the reins and the intelligence is the charioteer. And here the mind itself is compared to the chariot and we are the passengers. So, like, this poor person who is thinking that I'll make more money and more money, and finally, that finally he breaks the pot. So, isko kehte Sheikh Chilli ke vichar, sitting on some what do you say? Sitting on some branch, he thinks that, okay, I will cut this branch and then I'll get wood and I'll sell this wood and I will buy some hens, and then these hens will give me some eggs, and then I will sell those eggs, and then that multiplies. But ultimately what happens is that the branch that he's sitting on, he's cutting the same branch while cutting, and he's thinking all this. But ultimately what happens? he only falls down and gets himself broken as such. So he's thinking that अरे मेरे पास अभी इतना है, अभी मुझे और इतना चाहिए. And in this world, the resources are limited, but the desires are so many unlimited. So there is wealth, and people are competing for wealth. People are ready to beg, borrow, and steal. And uh, you know, they are ready to do anything, any slaughter, massacre for the sake of money. And the person is thinking that if I have wealth, I will thinks that if I will have wealth, I will make enemy. So this enemy I have already killed. That enemy I still have to kill. And that is why what is Krishna describing here? That uh, the mentality which is of these underworld dons. ये mentality underworld dons की है. And they think that अभी इसको मारेंगे, अभी उसको मार देंगे, and they actually don't think a second also before killing. If I kill everyone, then this will happen. If I'll kill that person, that will happen. And that is why what they're thinking is, they're thinking Ishwaro aham bhogi. Ishwaro aham, I am the Ishwara, and I am only aham bhogi. So, this is God project of demonic. Actually, demonics are out of to be, God to enjoy. And they are thinking that I am only the controller, enjoyer, and I am only the proprietor. And as soon as the property is mine, I will control it, I will enjoy it. That is why they are saying that हम ही ईश्वर है और हम ही भोगी है. And Krishna said that Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Krishna says that he is the Bhoktaram, he is the enjoyer, he is the enjoyer of sacrifices, he is the enjoyer of everything. And he is only the Supreme Ishwar, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. And that is why he's saying, no, Maya Dakshina Prakriti Suyate Sacharachara. Everything is actually working according to my direction. So this is the way a person tries to display God, and he's trying to become God. And it may not be that person is explicitly thinking that I wanted to become God, but there are people who think like that also. If you see in the fourth canto, there is this character called King Vena. And uh, he explicitly told the Brahmanas that you should worship me. There is no need to worship Narayana. So there are some people who may do like that explicitly, and others may not do like that explicitly. But you know, the subconscious desires may be like that of Ishvara Aham Bhogi. And then he's saying that Siddho Aham Balavan Sukhi. Because I am Siddho, I am perfect. So I am Aham Balavan, I am strong. Aham Sukhi, I am happy also. And the ultimate goal is they wanted to become happy. So I am Siddha, I am perfect. And this world is, in this world there is, fascination with the champions. People are so fascinated with these champions. And a devotee doesn't want to become best to gain worldly recognition, but to give Krishna the best. What can I do to give Krishna the best? The Hanumanji has done better than what he could have done throughout. What And devotees do not want to excel or supersede Krishna. They want to only glorify Krishna. But what do the demonic people want to do? They want to excel for glorification of their own ego. Their ego is so high that they want to excel it. And that is why they are saying that Adhyo Abhijanavan Asmi. See, when you say Jana, Jana means people. And Adyo, Adyo means they think that I am wealthy. And that is why they're thinking that I am surrounded by aristocratic people. So people want to move around in, very much glamorous social circles. I know this and I know that person, and I have got a photo with that person. I move with this particular person, and this minister I know, and that actor I know, and that cricketer I know. So it is the pleasure which comes out with the proximity with the famous ones. I want to be with that people, surrounded by those people. And that is why he's saying that Abhi Janvan Asmi. And then he's saying, Ko Anyo Asti Sadrishto Maya. Who is there like me? There is no one like me. So, one of Krishna's characteristic is that he is a Asamudhava. Asamurdhava means that there is no one equal to Krishna. Like, if you see, there is this, boxer called a Muhammad Ali. Okay. Uh, and the body just takes away. And a champion sports star becomes a non-performer. One may think that I was at the top, but after that, the craving is there. I want to get there. And after some time, if Muhammad Ali had Parkinson disease. He couldn't even lift a cup of tea. It's gone with the wind. The record goes away. Today, if you ask to the youngsters who is Muhammad Ali, nobody knows who is Muhammad Ali, right? So he's saying that Yakshase Dasyami Modasya. There is illusion to think that there is no one greater than me. That is the illusion of those who are godless people. Those who do not believe in God, they say that, there is nobody greater than me. And these people are completely self centered. So much so that they become, egomanic. So people should think that, good about me. I have done some fire sacrifices and I'll give some charity, and then I will get so much of reputation. Then people will think that I'm a very kind person. And then that, words when they enter my ears, I will feel so much of enjoyment that I'm a religious person, I'm giving charity. So see, when we say dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, okay, so religion should be a heart transformer and not a face transformer. They just wanted to pretend religious. I don't want to pretend to be religious. I want religion. I'm taking the shelter of religion so that I can transform my heart. And then when my heart is transformed, then I should give my heart to Krishna. But if we can't do that, we should give what is in our heart to Krishna. मेरे हृदय में क्या है वो मैं कृष्ण को दे सकती हूँ, right? So that is why in this way people are bewildered by ignorance. And um, uh, and that is why it is agyan. Because of all this illusion, uh, agyan, there, and nothing of this is going to last, right? It's all, they have a big illusion about all these things. Now, in this chapter, this chapter I'm saying, okay, this shloka, the 16th shloka is going to say that what is the destination of these people? अभी तक तो हमने देखा कि okay, what are their thoughts about gaining wealth, and what is their attitude, what are their tendencies, and what do they conduct and everything. But let's understand what is the destination. And for us it is it's like a big alarm that we should not fall in that trap, you know, or allow others also, or near and dear ones also to fall in that trap. He's saying that अनेक चित्त विभ्रांताः मोह जाल समावृताः प्रकाशतः काम भोगेषु पतन्ति नरके असुचौ. So Krishna is saying that, just 1 minute, okay, let me drink water. Thus perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, they become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down into hell. Aneka chitta vibhranta. So see, eka is one and anek is many. हमें पता है ना? In Hindi language we have learned. And chitta is consciousness. And vibhranta means he's perplexed, right? So their consciousness is pulled in many directions. So he's saying that moha jala samavritaha. They are completely covered over moha jal. Jal means what? A network or a trap of illusion. So it is not just one strand or one धागा, एक धागा नहीं है, जाल का एक धागा नहीं, it is a network, you know, it is interwoven and it is completely trapping them. And then samavritaha. Samavrita means completely covered over. And if something is completely covered over, then we cannot see. We cannot perceive only spirituality. So the illusion is completely covered. And then he's saying that prasakta kama bhogeshu. See, when I say asakt means attachment. But when I say prasaktaha, you know, asakt, pra आगे ऐड कर देती हूँ, है ना? तो it says that strongly attached. An adjective is added, right? Uh, attach Attachment is an action, right? But when I say prasakta means very strongly attached. And that is saying kama bhogeshu. So because of the desire for sense gratification, what happens is patanti narka log patanti narke asucho. They fall away to hell. And asucha means not clean. But see, what it means is that they fall down to hell, and this hell is not clean, it is unclean. Anekta chitta vibranta. And why is he saying aneka chitta? There are so many things to do. So, even, you know, if you see that Shankaracharya also said that there are so many distractions in material life. Um, and See, in childhood, you know, we have a lot of playing, and in Tarun Avastha, there is continuously, you know, looking for opposite gender. And in the old age, there is completely anxiety is great because now one does not have the capacity to do anything in old age. So one can't control even one body also. And that is why he's saying that um, uh, uh, at every stage there is distraction in life, and this material life does not allow a person to practice spiritual life in any stage of life. So we have to put aside all that distraction, and we cannot think we will practice later on. That later on will never come. Like I remember, uh, we have to do everything right now only. I remember, like, when my mother, she was, you know, telling people to take up to spirituality, and most of the time, even, means like when I was also young, I used to think ki spiritual means when I was like 12, 13 years old, I used to think that spirituality means for old age only. Old people only, will take that mala. Because Bollywood has given only those signals. Only that old lady sitting with, those chanting beads, and then she's looking here, and then she's looking there, and then she's telling her own daughter-in-law to do this work and that. So that way, that perception developed that way. But one day, my mother told me, like she told my sister and myself, we were sitting together, and she was telling that if I give you a dried rose flower, how will you feel? So we said that, Mommy, we'll feel very bad that you're giving us a dried rose flower, and you should have given us a fresh rose flower. Why aren't you giving us a fresh rose flower? So she's saying that only. She told us that, see, this youth age is like a fresh rose flower, and only a fresh rose flower can be offered to the Supreme Lord. And if I'm offering a dried rose flower, which is the old age, how will the Supreme Lord feel, or how will you also feel? You will feel insulted that, okay, this is only the value this person has, that he's giving me a, dried rose flower. So, similarly, the Supreme Lord will also feel bad. And that is why she said that only in the young age can we do bhakti. Because in the old age, there are so many bodily problems. The eyes won't work, the tongue won't work, the ears won't work, the nose won't work, the legs won't work, the hands won't work. And she gave the example of my grandmother, that see now how she's struggling with Parkinson. She has a memory loss, she cannot see properly. And that's how she said that only in young age you can do bhakti. You cannot do bhakti in old age. In old age, a lot many problems. So, uh, and of course, she was telling that, see, so many distractions are there, right? So nowadays also in Kali Yuga, the normal condition also in material life uh, is, there is so much of distraction. Children are filled with anxiety. There is child sexual abuse is there, and there is, um sexualization of childhood, sexuality in the trust of, children before teens only, they're becoming pregnant, and there is so much of mental torture going on by the media also. So even young people, so much of this video games also is going on. So much, there was some game in between, which was asking people to do suicide also. What was that game? Blue whale, some game it was. Some blue whale game it was. And because of that challenge that was put, people were committing suicides. Something watching sports. And even at the old age, nowadays people want to watch, cricketers, where two parties are there. They are playing cricket. Who is winning? Who is losing? We have nothing to do with their win and lose. If somebody is winning, is he giving me some money? And even if somebody is losing, are we identify with their personalities. If somebody is winning, we think, oh, I have only one. It's a wrong, completely, the perceiving is only so much wrong. And even in old age, people are doing all sorts of things which they can prolong their sexual drives and capacity by doing some surgeries or taking some wrong medicines as such. So really, this, that is why the destination is completely, unclean hell with all these activities. Okay, let's go to the next. I think I'll stop at this particular point after doing this particular shloka. The 17th one. So the 17th is talking about what is the hypocritical nature of these demonic people. So he says that Atma Sambhavita Stabdha Dana Mana Madanvita Yajante Nama Yagnaste Dambhena Vidhi Apurvakam. Self-complacent and always impudent. So if you see Stabdaha, right? Okay. And deluded by wealth and false prestige, they sometimes proudly perform sacrifices in name only, without following any rules or regulations or karma kandi. Like, when he says Atma Sambhavitaha, he's saying that they are self complacent. And Stabda means they don't care of any authority. They think themselves only that I am only the authority. And Dana Mana Madanvitaha. Dana Mana Madanvita means they're absorbed in the delusion of Dana and Mana, wealth and prestige, the false prestige. And even Krishna also in the 10th chapter, if you see, Krishna has also used Dana Mana Madanvita. They just caught up with the externals, and there is no substance, um, they just know how to bluff. There is no predicament in that. And that is why he's saying that Yajante Nama Yagnaste Dambha, sorry, Dambhena, uh, Avidhi Purvakam. So when he's saying Yajante means to worship. And they may do some worship, but Nama Yagnaste, नाम के लिए यज्ञ करते हैं, just for the sake of name, right? And dambhena means filled with arrogance. See, dambha means one does not have inner substance. अंदर कुछ खोखला है, अंदर कुछ है नहीं, लेकिन शो ऑफ करेगा, मेरे पास इतना है, मैं ऐसा हूं, मैं वैसा हूं, लेकिन इनसाइड ही हैज नथिंग, दंभ. And when they wanted to do this sort of things, they will do it, but how they will do it? Avidhi purvakam. They are not interested in some spiritual advancement. They do not believe in the scriptures or in the words of God also, or Krishna. And that is why they don't care for these vidhis, rules and regulations. They just want to do some religious, some rituals, so that they'll be respected in the society. And that is why it is called avidhi purvakam. So the Shastras or the scriptures tell us to do Nam Yagna, right? Nam Yagna. Every day we are doing Nam Yagnas. Chanting 16 rounds means only doing Nam Yagna sacrifice. But these people, what do? They do yajna for Nam. नाम कमाने के लिए यज्ञ करते हैं. और हम लोग क्या करते हैं? नाम यज्ञ करते हैं. भगवान को प्रसन्न करने के लिए हम लोग नाम यज्ञ करते. So that is how these people, because they do yajna for Nam, they completely lose their sense of purpose in life. And that is why religion becomes their face life, not faith, um, uh, but actually, what happens with them, that religion becomes their face life, not faith lived for them. उनको लगता है कि बस मेरा नाम हो, मेरी जो है कीर्ति बढ़ती जाए, मैं इसलिए दान धर्म करता रहूंगा. So, and sometimes, to even excel more, even if they take the renounced order of life, sannyas, so उनको क्या लगता है कि it will give them some prestige, in that pious, हर कोई मेरी वाह वाह करेगा, And that is why they, give some spiritual names to themselves, and some Babas and some YGs and all these names they'll give. So that not just ruining themselves, but they are ruining the reputation of even the sannyasis who are some genuine sannyasis who are genuinely living their life uh, to please the Supreme Lord. And that is why these demonic people, they just live a hypocritic life. अंदर कुछ और है, बाहर कुछ और है. अंदर पूजा लाभ प्रतिष्ठा है, और बाहर उनको जो है वो सन्यासी बन के घूमना है. So this is how they want to live life, and this is how they think that living life in that way is really very uh, you know glorious. क्योंकि उनको तो अल्टीमेटली क्या चाहिए, नाम ही चाहिए ना. So that's how this has been explained by Srila Prabhupada. Okay, I will stop over here. If somebody has any questions, queries, doubts, you can ask me. In fact, actually, it is not in my control also that my network is not working. I think last time we had this problem. That is why, if you see, I had put the videos in two parts. I think there's a problem with every Saturday or what? I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. Anybody has any questions, queries, doubts?
Hare Krishna, Mataji,
Dhanavad Pranam, Sushil Prabhu.
Mataji, this when we were discussing about this Brahmasas of Vedic eras and today's Vedic eras had the control. The user used to have control. They could withdraw it, and they could direct it to a particular target, not that. Like these days, Brahmasas are doesn't have any differentiation that you should go there or here. It will destroy everything on the way, whatever it can. Now, the question of Shatama comes. Is he a demon or a Brahman?
See, in the previous times, even if they were shooting the Brahmastra, right? They were guided by gurus. They were under the guidance of some guru or some sannyasi they were guided by. And they had acquired those powers with a lot of parishram to protect the people, right? They wanted to protect the people from demonic attacks. And they wanted to protect whom? They wanted to protect the innocent people. They did not want to, use unnecessary those weapons. But nowadays, what is happening? The innocent people are also being killed, and the not innocent people are also being killed. Also, these people who are leaving these missiles, they're not guided properly. They don't have spiritual gurus at all. They don't have spirituality in them at all. And because they are not under the guidance of a proper teacher, that is why, they will kill the innocent also, and they will create a havoc in the society. And that is why sometimes if they are caught, then they have to suffer in the jail, right? So that is why every time we need to be under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master who can guide us and who can lead us to a proper path. And the worst part about these people is that they don't know only the beauty of Sat, eternity. They are only living in a Sat, temporary environment, and they are illusion that yahi sab permanent hai. This is only permanent for me. This is their main problem, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, is that okay, or you want some more clarification on this?
No, it is fine. Thank you very much. But my last question is left is Ashatthama to be treated as a Yaman or Brahman?
See,
Your son,
Ashwatthama by birth is Brahman, but by karma he is not a Brahman. He might be born in a Brahmana family, but that is why it's in a Janma Karma Chame Divyam, you know, or Chaturvida Maya Shishtam Guna Karma Vibhagascha. Gun and karma ke upar, this vibhag is there. So Ashwatthama is born in a Brahminical family, but his actions are not Brahminical. Brahmani means what? Daya hai, self control hai, wisdom hai, cleanliness hai, clean in the mind also. So these qualities were lacking in Ashwatthama. So that is why he was not behaving like a Brahmana. How the Brahmana should be behaving, he was not behaving like that. So that is why by birth, okay, he's a Brahmana, but by karma, he's demonic. That way. Okay, Prabhuji. Parthasarthi Govind Prabhu, you have something
Hare
to
Krishna
say?
Mataji. Mataji, this demonic style of nature, how the devotee can overcome this?
See, the more we actually live in the association of those saintly people who have saintly qualities, so we actually adopt those saintly qualities. Jitna we will associate with devotees, jitna we will chant the holy name. See, there is external also and internal also it works. So internally, how we are working upon ourselves is that we are chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and externally we are associating with, saints who have godly qualities. And once we are associating, we also aspire for those godly qualities, and we start working upon or working towards those godly qualities. And that's how these demonic tendencies will fade away eventually. जितना जितना हम भक्तों का संग लेते हैं, जितना जितना हरि नाम का शरण लेते हैं, these are the two things which when we do, we can get rid away of, you know of course we don't have very gross level demonic tendencies, but we might have in very subtle ways, and those subtle ways also can be eradicated, by chanting and the association of pure devotees, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Somebody else has any question to ask? Okay, so if there are no questions, we'll halt for the day. And thank you so much for your patience and tolerating me and my system over here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Hare Krishna, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.